Please subscribe to Bear Nerd Fund. Smash the like button. Goodbye.
Hail to all, where we do not need. Hail to all. Hail to all. Now come on, Hollywood. Stop smelling your own farts. You might get mistaken for arse sniffers. Remember, when you go woke, you go broke. Hail to the fandom menace. So, this is what FU looks like to the fans. That's the face of FU to the fans. Coffee. Yeah, coffee's better than that. Sip. Yep. J.J. Abrams on Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker Episode 8 didn't derail anything. Alright, folks. This is the face of FU to the fans. This is a hack. Complete, utter hack with his, as we can see, he's got hair plugs. Yeah, look at the hair plugs he's got there. Yeah, hack. Disney, the evil empire that the destroyer of dreams. Yep, right here. Hack. J.J. Abrams on Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker Episode 8 didn't really derail anything. I'm just blown away by this nonsense. We could roll it all into one word. Claptrap. Yep. Minor minutia. J.J. Abrams appeared at Disney D23 Expo to promote the upcoming Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker film, where he revealed that Rian Johnson that ruined Star Wars: The Last Jedi. That's my opinion, by the way. Back to the article. The Last Jedi didn't really derail anything. So tell me, how is killing off the biggest main character, the most powerful Jedi Master, who was a Grandmaster, then is some hypocritical male that abandoned everybody? But yet, in Return of the Jedi, he redeemed his father, Darth Vader, then reverted back into Anakin Skywalker. Redeemed his father. How do you go from that to this? How do you not call that derailed? When you kill off an iconic character and then man-hate everywhere in the movie, where no man can do no right, where they're constantly criticized, especially if they're a white male, they're criticized. Yeah, didn't derail anything at all. Not a bit. Nope. Nada. Zilch. Yeah. And I got a cup of sarcastic brew for you to drink. Abrams spoke to Entertainment Tonight Canada, where he discussed the Rise of Skywalker, stated the story that we're telling, the story that we started to conceive when we did Force Awakens, was allowed to continue. Episode 8 didn't really derail anything that we were thinking about. Hello, it's called You Had an Agenda from the get-go to reboot Star Wars, to tell and create your own story. So basically, if there is a 25% clause in the contract with George Lucas and Disney, and they haven't made those public that I know of. Nobody's read the contract, so we don't know for sure. So why would Disney try to kill off iconic characters that could make them money? Galaxy's Edge. Tanking. People don't want to go there. No OG Star Wars characters are there at all. Abrams would go on to discuss the fun of The Rise of Skywalker. Fun? But I will say the fun of this movie is that these characters are all together on this adventure as a group. When were they never a group? Let's see. Star Wars: A New Hope, they were a group. Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back, they were a group. Oh, The Return of the Jedi, they were also a group. Oh, let's go back to Star Wars Episode 3. They were a group too. Yep, they were a group. Episode 1, 2, and 3, they were all groups. They were a group of people. So, as a group, that tells me that this is just more pandering to propaganda garbage. That's what I see. Back to the article. That's the thing I was most excited about, to see the dynamic between these characters and these amazing actors play on these desperate set of your pants adventure. Amazing actors play on this desperate set of your pants adventure. I've never seen that terminology before. I've never seen that saying. Doing things by the seat of your pants, I've heard of that one. That makes more sense. That, to me, was the thing that was the most fun. Having the group together. Yeah, there's groups of people everywhere that work together. So what is the huge significance of talking about the group? What is it, more diverse? Any more than it can be? Yeah. Group. Abrams has previously told Vanity Fair that he was taking a much different approach to The Rise of Skywalker than he did with The Force Awakens. Working on 9, I found myself approaching it slightly differently, which is to say that on 7, I felt beholden to Star Wars in a way that was interesting. I was doing what, to the best of my ability, I felt Star Wars should be. He then detailed his approach for The Rise of Skywalker. It felt slightly more renegade. It felt slightly more like, F it. I'm going to do the thing that feels right because it does, not because it adheres to something. Yeah, sure. Yeah, mystery boxes and lens flares and all that garbage. Garbage. Of note, Abrams was not supposed to direct The Rise of Skywalker. He came on board the project back in September 2017. Well, I would say that their expectations were subverted because they thought the fans would just roll over and take it. Sand and all. No, thank you. I don't like sand in my private areas, thank you very much. After Lucasfilm parted ways with Colin Trevorrow. You know what? I am real curious as to what Colin Trevorrow has to say, unfiltered. I bet you it would be very, very, very interesting. Back to the article. Who was originally supposed to direct Episode 9, Abrams' comments are even more interesting given that Rian Johnson ruined the man baby and Daisy Ridley have stated concerning the creative process of this new Star Wars trilogy. What creative process? There is no creative process. They've done nothing but copied from the old movies, story ideas, plot points. Episode 7 was like a copy of A New Hope. The Last Jedi director Johnson previously described Abrams in the role Last Jedi related blah blah blah. He was really gracious in just stepping back and giving us a blank slate to work with. The starting point was the Force Awakens script, which is quite a big, expensive, wonderful starting point. In that way, we are drawing directly from its work. But from that point forward, it was a blank canvas. Yeah, blank everything. No creativity, no nothing. Actress Daisy Ridley, who plays Rey, revealed her take on the continuity between films in a French interview. All that should be interesting. Here's what I think I know. J.J. Abrams wrote Episode 7, as well as drafts for 8 and 9. Then Rian Johnson arrived and wrote The Last Jedi entirely. I believe there was some sort of general consensus on the main lines of the trilogy. But apart from that, every director writes and realizes his film in his own way. Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams met to discuss all of this. Through Episode 8 is still his very own work. I believe Rian didn't keep anything from the first draft of Episode 8. Yeah, garbage. Garbage, and a complete insult and smack in the face to the fans. That's what that was. One has to imagine that Abrams believed he was done with Star Wars following The Force Awakens. He reportedly gave Johnson a blank slate to work with. I don't believe JJ gave him anything. I believe KK was the one that gave him that blank slate. Because, let's face it, he kind of reminds me of an ass kisser. Yeah. And mind you, I'm giving opinions here. Keep that in mind. Opinions. Now Abrams is claiming he continuing the story he outlined since The Force Awakens. Yeah, he can claim that all he wants. I don't believe him. Since The Force Awakens, it's kind of hard to believe, especially if Johnson threw out the first draft of Episode 8 and didn't use any of Abrams' notes. You know what? I'd be very curious to see what Abrams' notes are. That I would be interested in seeing. It's possible Abrams might ignore Johnson's The Last Jedi in The Rise of Skywalker, similar to how he ignored pretty much all the Star Wars canon in The Last Jedi. It's also possible Abrams might be trying to pay lip service to the idea that Lucasfilm and Disney had a plan altogether despite all the statements to the contrary. Yeah, I believe they had an agenda. Oh, they had an agenda, and I think they followed through with it. What do you make of Abrams' recent comments? Do you think this will continue his story from The Force Awakens? Do you think the film will have any connection to The Last Jedi at all? I think it's not going to matter. I think people aren't going to care. And there's a lot of people that don't really have any interest in it. Because the fans were treated so poorly. Call your fan base and your customers that give you money names. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. The people that are going to bring revenue to you, call them names, insult them. That makes all the sense in the world. Not. That's got to be the worst economical policy ever. Treat your customers like shit. There you go. Yeah. Yep. Full. I don't trust anything that this guy says. I don't trust anything that Disney says. Sure as hell don't trust anything that Lucasfilm says, because it's all being dictated from up on high to them. Hail to the Phantom Menace. Hail to all, where we do not kneel. Hail to all. Now come on, Hollywood. Stop smelling your own farts. You might get mistaken for arse sniffers. Remember, when you go woke, you go broke.
Please subscribe to Bear Nerd Fun. Smash the like button. Goodbye.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Say hello.
Hello.
Say nerd fun. Nerd fun. Nerd fun. Say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Hail to the Phantom Menace.